Hi guys, welcome back to Between the Sticks podcast. Obviously, myself and Cam are going to be talking about all the news. Bit of a different layout this one. We're not going to be focusing on one sport. We're going to be focusing on our three main sports.
Yeah.
But yeah, all the news that we think's more interesting, what we want to talk about, things like that. But yeah, I hope you enjoy, guys. So to start off with, Cam, I think we should get into NFL news because obviously season's ended. A bit of time before it starts. We'll start off with that one because it's just a lot of like trades, things like that.
Yeah.
Obviously, we don't know what each other's picks, so it's more of like so you get more of a raw reaction in terms of like what you say, what you if you ask anything, things like that. But yeah, do you want to crack on, Cam?
Yeah. So the first thing I want to talk about is at the start of every season, a team has like the Hard Knocks series. Where basically the thing just follows the training camp leading up to the season, stuff like that. So the two contenders this year are the Cowboys or the Jags. Which one do you think will be better for it?
I think I'd say the Cowboys.
Yeah.
Because it'd be interesting to see how the Jags got on, obviously, with the season that they had. Disappointing. But then I think the Cowboys would be interesting to see because obviously it was Dak Prescott's last season and he got injured, didn't he? Yeah. So it would have been good to see how they coped with that sort of through the season. But yeah, I'd probably like to see the Cowboys as well. Things with that though, it's good just to watch what goes on behind the scenes, isn't it, with stuff like that.
Yeah, that's it. I think the same Cowboys probably because you've got like the personalities of Elliott and all that, so it kind of makes it interesting. Yeah. I mean, with the Jags, you've obviously got Minshew and stuff like that, but no,
it wasn't the same season for them, was it? No, yeah.
Well, this is based on the training camp this season coming up. Coming up.
See, because the Jags get first round pick, don't they?
I think do they? Yeah, I think so. Oh yeah, they do.
See, I'm not going to lie to you. Now that I know that, I thought you meant like throughout this season.
No.
Because if they take that, is it Lawrence, the quarterback?
Yeah.
Be interesting to see if they did take him. It'd be good to watch that. Because I think
that's what I was going to come on to. Like, who do you reckon will take Lawrence? Do you think it'll be the Jags or?
See, it's like Minshew's a good quarterback, but I think the Jags need a bit of something in them. They need like a big franchise player. Obviously, they've got the wide receiver, Robinson, is it? Or the running back?
Yeah.
Who was and I think they might go that way with it because you've got Minshew who's like he's played seasons in NFL, so he's always there.
Yeah.
But I just think that Lawrence will be the kind of maybe the way forward that they go with it. Look at Miami with like Tua.
Yeah.
You've also got I know he got injured, but the Bengals quarterback, what's his name? Joe Burrow. Yeah, I think they might go that way with it. Take on a rookie, bit of a franchise player, first round pick, and see if what they can do with it. Go from that with it, really. Because I saw, just because you were talking about like the draft pick. Sorry, I saw this isn't man but I noticed the other day that they were saying like that. There's going to be like 6 wide receivers taken in the first round. Like, so I don't know if Jags would want. They might go for another wide receiver and let Minshew have a bit more option on the field, But we'll have to wait. I don't know.
Is there any other teams that you could see taking Minshew? Who you like need that type of quarterback? I think Patriots might. But it depends if they go with Cam Newton again. It depends, obviously, how far he drops.
NFL fans will probably hate me for this, but I've not really watched the Jags.
No, that's what it is. Yeah.
So I can't really, because they weren't, because like even if I couldn't watch Saints, or I'd watch Saints and I was looking for a game after, they weren't really a team I'd go to watch. Like, so I can't really say what kind of quarterback Minshew is.
Yeah.
But yeah, I think Pats, because they need one. But then you look at the caliber of quarterbacks that are in free agency at the minute. You know, we've mentioned one already. You look at Dak Prescott.
Yeah.
And I think he'd be quite suited. You know, he's not a runner with the ball, but he can. He's big. You know, he can if he needs to. But I don't know. I think they'd have to. I think Jags couldn't rely on the first round pick. I think they'd have to at least. I think they would have to at least keep him there, just on the off chance that maybe Lawrence gets injured or doesn't quite work out for him.
Yeah.
But
well, that kind of leads.
I just don't know.
That leads me on to like the next bit. Talking free agency, Richard Sherman's still in there. Well, obviously, if he goes to a team now, it's going to be pretty much the last team he goes to. So who do you think he'd be suited to go into at the minute?
You'd have to look at a team. See, it depends. It depends, obviously, what cap space he's got. But I think if he can have another good season, another solid season, maybe a team that, again, NFL fans might hate this, but maybe a team like Atlanta, a team that can score points, but, you know, third, fourth quarter, the defense does kind of let them down, you know, and like, I know their offense don't seem to be able to close out a game when they're up, but saw it a few times last season. But I think maybe go to there, maybe bolster Atlanta's defense up, you know, a good corner, good safety sort of thing. Just sort of giving that a bit more of a caliber in the backfield sort of thing for him. Yeah. But in terms of that, I think you've got a lot of good young players that play in his position now.
Yeah.
So I think it's harder for teams. I mean, don't get me wrong, you know, I think any team would take him. Yeah. But the way the league is at the minute with all these top quality young wide receivers.
Everything's just going to like pace and stuff like that now. Pace, ability to catch the ball, stuff like that. Whereas Sherman, coming from like Seattle days, he's just a lethal like hitter. He like goes in for the tackles all the time, all the hard hits, stuff like that. So he's not really. Well, he can be like athletic wise, but compared to these young lads now, it's just pretty much impossible to. But then nothing beats experience, so it could be one of them where they're just getting to help the younger players if he wants to do something like that.
Yeah, I'm not saying that it'll happen, but you never know. A team like the Bengals might take him, you know, just to sort of put, like you said, put a bit of experience in the defense.
Or Miami.
You know, teams like that have like Miami, yeah, you know, depending on which way they go with Tua.
Yeah.
Or Magic Mick. It depends, really, doesn't
it?
But yeah. It depends, really, which way they go with it. I knew I cocked up then. As soon as I said it, I knew I'd cocked up.
You've been watching that?
I knew I'd cocked up.
Oh.
Yeah. Watched it last night before I went to bed.
So, yeah. Most recently, what about Kyle Rudolph? He got released by the Vikings.
Oh, yeah. I saw that after 10 years, isn't it?
Yeah, something like that, yeah.
After 10 years. Again, with that, it's a bit of an odd one, innit? You know, you'd think you'd keep a play like that, but maybe they're looking, again, when you look at the amount, I can't see him getting another quarterback because I think Cousins is a solid quarterback for him.
Yeah.
But maybe they're looking to get someone big in the off-season. You know, you look at the caliber of, it's not just, I know we've named quarterbacks, but like you said, the likes of Sherman, there's plenty of receivers, defensive players in free agency.
I think this guy's in free agency because he only signed 1 year, didn't he? So I think he's in free agency at the minute.
Yeah, he said that he does want another year though.
Did he? Oh, well, yeah, he said he'll run it back, didn't he?
Yeah. But you never know. A team might come in for him and he'll call early retirement again. So
go back to WWE.
Yeah, but the thing is, you don't know what, like.
That's it. Because like in NFL, like people report stuff like moving on to like JJ Watt, like he got reported to go to Packers and all, like Pittsburgh stuff like that, and then he ended up going to Arizona.
Well, because when we originally recorded it, when we were originally going to record this, nothing had been confirmed yet.
No,
But there was like five or six teams that he was linked with.
But not Arizona.
And the team that he ended up going to, Arizona, weren't even on list.
Yeah.
So,
sense.
I mean, the thing is with that, I can't see they will let him go lightly. I think you don't know what's going on behind closed doors, but you'd think if they've let a player go that's been there for so long, they must be wanting something big to come out of it. You know, they must want a big player to come in and take his place, sort of thing.
Yeah.
And it might be to fit in with the salary cap. One of the teams I'm going to talk about in a second is they've let a few players go purely on the basis that they're like a bit over salary cap sort of thing. So
do you think he'll fit in well with Arizona? Do you reckon they can push for playoffs and maybe go to like
JJ
finals?
It'll be interesting to see how Kyler Murray gets on with it, because now that he's got a solid defensive lineman or tackle in the team now, you know, for pretty much most of the season, he kind of put the team on his back and tried to get results week in, week out, you know. And I think now that they've bolstered the defence, I think he'll feel a bit more at ease with it, and he'll be able to go, right, I can do a bit more now and know that if I need a stop, I've got more chance of getting one this year. Whether to say if they're going to be a playoff team or not, maybe wild card.
Yeah.
You know, Kyler Murray's still a young lad, but I think...
Well, that's it. They've still got the weapons like DeAndre Hopkins and stuff like that.
Yeah.
And obviously last year you saw the signs of what Murray can do, so it's only another year onto that of experience.
That's it. You never know. They could go on and win it, but I doubt it. I think I don't think they've got the same weapons that the likes of Tampa have.
No.
Even Saints have, you know, Green Bay. But I think they'll push for it, definitely wild card minimum.
Yeah.
If they get a lucky draw, they might get through there. But I think it just helped Kyler Murray now in the fact that he now knows that he's got a solid player to sort of make a stop if he needs one.
Yeah.
But yeah, well, that was one of my points. I wanted to get what's your opinion on the whole move with it, because like we said, it was like stipulated that Arizona weren't, well, it wasn't said, but Arizona weren't even in the question for it. But what do you think about that move?
That's the thing, like with JJ Watt, he's had a few good seasons the past few years, but he's never been to that level that he used to be. He still can have that impact, but it's just like due to injuries and all that he's, I don't know. It'll be interesting to see if he can come back to the level that he was. I would have liked to see him with his brothers, because that would have been quite interesting.
Yeah.
Good storyline. Like.
Yeah.
But it's one of them. He's teamed back up with Hopkins. He's on the same team now again. But that's it, like you said. If Murray's out and they need to get a stop on defence, Murray can rely on that. As long, like, that's just judging based on if JJ Watt can bring back the form of what he used to be. But I've said that Arizona defence is not bad. Like, it goes quite underrated, that defence. So
don't get me wrong. They came up with a couple of stops, you know. But I just think, like I said, it's just that bolster of JJ Watt. Do you think he'll have like a thing about him where he comes in and like that defence will step up to another level, which will force him to step up to another level because he'll demand it.
Yeah, that's it. You when you're looking at JJ Watt, like even when he's talking press, you can see how passionate he is about like his team. When he came out and said all that stuff about Houston, so he's only going to come into that team.
He wouldn't
give an experience like dishing that off to all the younger guys.
That's it.
So
that's it. I think for Arizona and JJ, I think it's a good move because I think JJ's kind of, it'll give him a bit. I think he'll have a top. I think I won't predict any awards or anything, but I think he'll have like an amazing season there because I think it's just that it'll freshen him up a bit. You know, going to a new team, new people, and I think it'll be a good move for Arizona because, like anything, you bring in a top player like that. Look at the Bucks with Tom Brady. I'm not saying he'll have the same effect, but when you bring in a player of that caliber, it kind of lifts the whole team. Then, like we said, so I think for both
the whole move, it's only going to benefit him because I think being at Houston, not winning for so long, and by the sounds of it, especially with the Deshaun Watson situation, it doesn't seem like the higher ups at Houston really care about winning as much. So it's going to be interesting to see how he copes with like a new situation, like a fresh start.
I think that's another one to watch. Obviously, nothing's been confirmed yet. Watch some will get confirmed after we put this out. But it'll be interesting to see what happens with Deshaun Watson because I think this will just sort of make him want to leave as soon as possible.
Well, that's what I said to you, didn't I? He's gone and told the higher ups that he'll pay the fine just to not snap a ball.
Yeah.
So that just tells you all you need to know, really.
And I feel sorry for Deshaun Watson because I think if he was put in the right team, he'd be quality.
I think he's an MVP quality.
Definitely. 100%. Definitely. It's a shame, really. But it's like JJ Watt said to him, didn't he, coming off the field, sorry, we wasted your year or something like that.
Yeah.
I think that was kind of the telling point that where everyone thought, right, this they could be gone by end of the season.
Yeah, that's it. And I think that comes to them speaking out about it, probably forced them leaving. So,
yeah. But with just before we move on with that, do you know when you don't really see it often in sport? You know when JJ Watt, you mentioned it then, JJ Watt when he came out and said that if you don't want to be here, you don't want to win for the team, you don't want to win for the fans, don't turn up. Does that kind of show that there's something maybe going on inside the team?
That's it, yeah.
Maybe, players that aren't really...
That's it, because you look at it sometimes in NFL, maybe you're not the best player, maybe something like that, but there's people who want to step up and get to that top level, but there's some people that maybe just want to get there and get the paycheck.
And then just stay there. Yeah. Stay there. It'll be interesting to see what Texans do, obviously, with the draft coming up and everything. It'd be interesting to see who they take, because they're going to need a quarterback. You never know. Minshew, we just talked about him. Yeah. Minshew, they might just be waiting for him to go. But I think Texans are definitely one to watch.
Yeah, 100%.
Now, with how they deal with the whole situation, really.
Yeah. So, moving on from NFL, we'll switch it over to...
Oh, sorry.
Oh, go on.
Sorry. I've got one more thing, because I just want to talk about it.
Go on.
Back there. Background. Breeze. Apparently, it's only a matter of time before he comes out and announces his retirement. So, basically, I don't know how it works. You might do, but apparently there's salary cap over there. I don't know how it works. I think it is like the Super League over here. But basically, the Saints have come up. They're going to be 10 million over the salary cap.
If they keep him?
If they keep him and a few other players. So what they've done is, they've come out basically and said that, because Jameis Winston, the backup quarterback, they want to keep him, but he's in free agency at the minute. So they want to keep him, but they can't. So but they don't have the cap space to do it.
Yeah.
So loads of reporters over there are saying that it's inevitable that Breezy's going to retire. They're just waiting for the confirmation of it. Don't know why it's taking so long, but they're just waiting for the confirmation on it.
That's it. They're just building up suspense at the minute, aren't they?
The part that I don't get about it, right? I know they have to save cap space and everything, right? See if you understand this, right? So they want Jameis Winston, which makes complete sense. He's a veteran, played in the NFL for multiple seasons.
Yeah.
He suits the Saints playing style down to a T, I think.
Yeah.
But they've let go of Jared Cook and Josh Hill, the two tight ends, which I thought was a bit two tight ends gone. You know, they've only now got one tight end on the roster, which is a 3rd round pick from the 2020 draft.
Yeah.
But this is obviously to get cap space, get Jameis Winston. Do you think they're going to take another tight end rookie, or do you think they're going to look to trade somewhere else? Gronk.
I'd probably more go with the draft. Obviously, you get quite high quality players at the draft, and a team like Saints, especially with a coach, he can he has the same effect as Bill Belichick. I'd say probably not as much, but in a sense that he'll be able to turn them into good players. So I think maybe draft.
No, yeah.
But yeah, talking about Breeze, what doesn't make sense for me is if you're going to retire, it would have been at the start of the season, at the end of the season, sorry. But leaving it
Everyone
so
said,
late,
didn't they, if they lost, yeah.
It just doesn't make sense. Why would you leave it so late? Why would you leave it so close to the season? Well, not close because we're still.
Unless he's well, there was talks of him getting becoming like part of the actual staff, though, wasn't it? It wasn't like going to be a quarterback coach, but like I think, don't quote me on it, but something to do with like the community around New Orleans, but under like the Saints banner.
Yeah.
So maybe he's just waiting on that. You know, he wants to make sure that happens first. But yeah, they must have something big. Obviously, Jameis Winston, they've come out and said that that's who they're going for quarterback wise. Obviously, Taysom Hill behind him, but I just think it's an interesting one, getting rid of your big tight end. You know, he dropped a couple, but he made a few big catches for us in the season.
Yeah.
And only sticking with one, so they must have something, coming up.
You never know
with
in
that.
NFL.
That's it. They could pull something out of the bag big time.
Yeah.
Big time.
It just doesn't make sense to me. I did leave it so late for a night to retirement.
Do you reckon they'll wait till after draft?
Possibly. Maybe they're just waiting to see how his body's feeling, if he can do one more year. Because maybe he wants to go out when there's fully fans in the stadium, so he actually gets that respect that he deserves. But you never know.
It wouldn't surprise me though if New Orleans already knew.
Yeah.
If New Orleans already knew, right, he's retiring, we don't need to push him. That's why we're going in for Jameis Winston, but we won't publicly come out and say it. It wouldn't surprise me if that was the case.
That's it. I remember getting Winston just in case, like last year, he gets an injury.
Injured. Yeah. But yeah, I just wanted to talk about that because I thought getting rid of two tight ends, all of the salary cap and that, but quite interesting. That's another team watch. I think Saints in the off season, see what they end up doing. Yeah.
Right. So going on to rugby news, one of the biggest ones coming out of the past week for me is Latrell Mitchell signing a contract till 2023.
Big one, that.
I think it'll be an interesting one just because he's played quite well in the first. Obviously, it's only pre-season games; it doesn't really count for much. But he played well in the All-Star game, I thought, and in the Charity Shield game, I think he played. He got 3 assists, 1 try, and he looked good. And obviously, he only played 1 half. Obviously, it is against St. George. I get that, but he did show signs of what they can do.
Thing is with that though, I watched the second half of the All-Stars game. I didn't watch the St. George game. Obviously, I'd spoke to you though about it and everything. But I did see the one he set up for Cody Walker.
Yeah, the one where he chucked it and then it went underneath.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was good. I
think if he can keep that form up every week, he'll be in with a shout for Origin, which is back to normal now, mid-season. So it makes his life a bit easier to get picked for that. But I just think now that he's got obviously his last season with Roosters wasn't the best. His first season with Souths, he was good. He was a good player, but he wasn't at the standard that he set previously. Yeah. But I think now he's got a proper season under his belt. Him, Cody Walker, and Reynolds. He knows his team. He knows what they want from him now. He's played a season with him.
Yeah.
And I think that contract extension will be a big one, because I think he'll only be better.
When he got announced, he did like an interview, and I watched some of that, and he said, if I can be the best centre in the world at the sport, and I'm not even like primarily that position, basically just think what I can do when I get into my form at fullback.
Makes sense, doesn't it? Like, I think there was a time where he was probably the best centre in the world. And I think he came through as a fullback.
Yeah.
But I think because he played at Roosters for a couple of seasons, when he won the grand finals and that, it was as he played centre.
Yeah.
But so I think when you play at fullback, you have a different role. You have a different you have a lot more to do.
Yeah.
You play as like an extra receiver, a ball player, that sort of thing. So I think it's where it's centre, you get the ball, you score often, things like that.
Yeah.
But I think now that he's, like we said, he's had in a season to adjust now. So
that's it.
It's only up from here in terms of fullback.
Yeah, I think more at fullback, he's got more like liability to make them final passes, like he has been doing in the preseason games, like cut-out passes, stuff like that.
Yeah.
But that's it. I think, obviously, you can tell, I even said to you, he's put on quite a bit of size. And I think that'll only help him. I think, like you said ages ago, and like everyone's comparing, like he does kind of look a bit like Greg Inglis when you look at it.
Yeah.
But obviously, if you can live up to them standards, that'll be good for Souths.
The thing is with that whole GI comparison, though, like between the two, they look a lot like each other. They played a lot like each other. Greg Inglis at Storm, centre. He didn't play fullback there purely because they had Slater, who was in his prime.
Yeah.
When he went to Souths Bunnies, he played a lot at fullback. He played a bit of 6, which Latrell can do. But I'm pretty sure Latrell's already come out and said that he doesn't want. He's his own player. He likes the whole comparison thing, but it's his career. At the end of the day, he doesn't want to have that comparison all the time.
No, you want to build your own name, don't you? So
that's it. He doesn't want to be branded as like the next GI or anything like that.
Yeah,
which makes complete sense. But like you said, and a lot of people say, how he plays is a lot like it. I think he's got more aggression. He doesn't mind a bit of a scrap, but yeah.
Well,
he's got a long way to go, I think, to be the next GI.
Yeah, 100%. Another player that I want to talk about, obviously, he's pretty much injury prone at the minute. Tom Trbojevic, round 4, he's expected to come back. What you're thinking of Manly's chances to win them first 4 games, or first 3 games?
Sad, isn't it? Because like when you put Tom in that team, he gives them that bit of pace that they need out wide. He's safe at his houses under the high ball. I think with the likes of Cherry Evans and Foran now there, I think they would have liked to have Tom Trbojevic out the back.
Yeah.
Because even though he's not the biggest of lads, but when he gets up to full speed, he is hard to stop. Yeah. I think they'll have a dodgy start. I think they might win a cup, win 1, maybe 2. Sorry, Manly fans, but I just don't see what other weapons you have at fullback. To sort of that'll have the impact he has on the team.
Do you think it might become a problem to a sort where Manly might think of not necessarily replacing him, but maybe just starting someone else in front of him, just based on how injury prone he is?
Well, that's like look at James Tedesco when he was at the Tigers coming through. he had hamstring injuries left, right, and centre.
Sorry, mate. I just farted and it stinks.
Only on a sports podcast. Professionalism. When James Tedesco was at Tigers coming through, he had hamstring injuries left, right, and centre. And then he had that one big breakout season. And is it that bad?
It's fucking awful.
He had that big breakout season. He didn't get injured. I think it just depends. The Manly don't want to rush a player like that back. No. I think you wait until he's fully fit. Even if he comes in and says, "Right, I'm ready to go," unless you get advised by a professional that's been working with him throughout his rehab, that could, if that professional doesn't come in and tells you, "Right, you can play him now," then I just don't see it. Because I think you look at James Tedesco now, touch wood, he doesn't have many injuries in terms of his hamstring anymore. But you look at the other side of it, you look at the likes of Matt Moylan, world class when he came on to scene, New South Wales player. Yeah. But he got injured, came back, got injured again. He came back again this year, stayed fit. So touch wood, he can stay fit and find his form again. But I think that's the two sort of things of it. You rush him back because he makes an impact for you. You lose him again. You wait until he's fully fit and it's safer to bring him back. You'll probably have him for a lot longer.
Yeah. Moving on from that a little bit, something a bit different, more coaching wise now. I did read one today. It's just come out. Cooper Cronk has been caught helping training Melbourne Storm players with Billy Slater, but obviously he is under contract with Roosters and he's not allowed to be coaching any other teams. But there's been pictures and Melbourne Storm, it's on their Twitter if you look at it. He's been caught with a picture. I think it's Munster who's in the picture with him. But yeah, he's at the training. And in the caption said, I think the caption said Coops and Slater running drills with the players.
Tell you what, if that is true, that'll get a lot of backlash. Because it wouldn't surprise me if Roosters were paid. Well, they would have to. It's paying him a fair bit.
Yeah, he's on a 6-figure contract with the Roosters. That's what my reaction was. That's what my reaction.
I don't get that. Because because you wouldn't think Cronk's that kind of player, would you?
No, but it might have just been took out of context. I mean, Melbourne might have just been trying to stir the pot a little bit.
Or he went there with a coffee for Billy Slater and was like, "Oh, look at that, you're coaching him. You got me help." Speaking of Storm, have you go on?
That's it though. With obviously he might be there just visiting. Obviously it is his club, like his past club, so you never know. He could have just been visiting. They've took pictures and obviously they've put it out.
Yeah,
to try and cause a bit of a stir.
Have you seen the thing with Cameron Munster? The interview?
No.
It was put out on Twitter this morning, and the person who was asking him, the interviewer asked him a question of, he said, "Name 3 Camerons at the club."
Yeah.
And Munster went, and he said Cameron Munster, I can't think of the other Cameron, and then he said Cameron Smith, and he went, "Yeah, Cameron Smith's playing for us next year."
Sure.
And then just smiled, and the interviewer laughed and was like, "Oh, exclusive, they're breaking news," and Cameron Munster was just stood there smiling at the camera. But not like a smile where it's like, "I've got you." It was just as if
I don't know. It could be just making. Yeah, it could be making stuff up. You never know.
Storm stirring the pot early on.
Literally, that's what it is. Though they're getting people's heads.
But yeah, literally as you said that about Cronk, I just thought that's bonkers. That, but yeah, it was on Channel 9's Twitter page this morning.
I have to have a look at that in a bit.
Be interesting, that. Be an interesting one. Speaking of, because obviously you mentioned the likes of it's gone already. Who signed the extension?
Mitchell Latrell.
Mitchell Latrell. I've got him in my dream team, so I thought I'd mention him. But Stephen Crichton, Panthers centre, signed an extension until the end of 2023. He got 17 tries in 22 games last year. Part of New South Wales squad. Didn't play, but he was part of the squad. He didn't play he didn't play for the New South Wales squad, like I said, but he was there in the grand final. I don't think he played in the grand final. Correct me if I'm wrong in the comments, but that for Panthers is a massive signing, and I think it might be one of the reasons now we're seeing why they let Josh Mansour go. I know it's a bit of a shithouse move how he left, but I think you're starting to see now why they got rid of him. Yeah. Some of the young lads, like Stephen Crichton's one to watch for the future. He's athletic, he's a big lad, he's in tall, scores tries for fun. But I think they've kind of took a gamble on the younger lads now and try and build on what they had last year. Like Cleary, still young. Jerome Luai, still a young lad. Coruscant, he's young, but he's coming into his prime now.
Do you think?
But I thought that was it.
Do you think
I picked that up? I thought it's a good move.
Do you think they can run it back and get to another grand final?
I don't think they'll have the season that they had last year.
Yeah.
I don't think they will. I don't think Cleary will put up numbers that he did last year either. I think they'll find it more challenging, but I still think they'll make playoffs. I still think they'll be a playoff team, semi-final maybe.
Yeah.
But I just can't look for some reason. I can't look past a Storm and Souths grand final,
especially if Smith stays.
That's it. I think it'll definitely be his last year next year as well. Yeah. But I think their season will still be impressive. I think, second or third. But I just can't see the team and the key players putting up the stats that they did last year. Hopefully they can, you'd love to see a team like Panthers, Cleary, coming off the back of a disappointing season, losing Origin, losing a grand final. I think he'll be hungry for it. Yeah. He'll want it, He was literally blinded by the lights at the grand final. But yeah, I think they'll be hungry for it, but I just can't see them doing what they did last year.
Well, moving on to another player, talking a bit more about injuries. Obviously, Boyd Cordner, he still remains out indefinite. Yeah. So we don't know when he'll be back, obviously, with all the stuff that happens with his body. It's in a shambles, you never know. And Mitchell Pearce returned to full training. So that's quite interesting in the sense of Knights getting back to that full form of just having all the players ready for the first round. Well, it depends. Is Pong still out? Is Pong still injured?
No, I think Ponga's back now. I think Ponga's back, Watson's back.
Yeah.
The thing with Knights is, we said it in our sort of preview to the NRL season. The thing with Knights is they can start off a season looking world class.
Yeah.
And then they just become inconsistent. They'll win 4 or 5 games on the bounce, and then they'll lose the next 3.
Yeah.
Then they'll win 2, lose 2. So hopefully they can keep players fit. I hope Mitchell Pearce, because obviously being a Roosters fan, I know he's not at Roosters, but I hope for Pearce's sake, because he obviously came through the ranks there, I hope for Pearce's sake that he gets back to his form and he finds that bit of consistency that he needs in his game to continue being that sort of New South Wales halfback, every year.
Yeah.
But I think it's good for Knights now because they have a halfback. They have a couple of halfbacks. Obviously, they've got Blake Green. They've got Watson back, who can play 9, I guess, as well. and Pierce, so they have a bit more of an option now in the halves to play around with and see which is the best fit for them.
Well, moving on to like maybe our last couple of points of the NRL before moving on to Super League. As you said, you could see a Melbourne and Souths grand final.
Yeah.
So, a week's time today, our time 9:05, Melbourne versus Souths, first game of the season. Who are you taking for that?
Right. I'm gonna say Souths by 4.
Yeah.
But I'm not confident. I don't want to say Storm because everyone will say Storm. You know, you love a good underdog story.
Yeah.
But Craig Bellamy never loses his first game of the season.
Yeah.
It's never happened. I don't think it's happened at Storm before, or it's happened a couple of times. You know, it's known that he doesn't lose his first game of the season.
Yeah.
But I think Souths, with all the backing that they've got from ex-players that they're going to win it, I think they've got a lot of confidence coming into it.
Yeah. And obviously all the players that they've got on the bench, obviously you've got the likes of Jairo and Mansour, unless he starts. But last week when they was talking about it, they were saying that he might not start. So, you know, they got all them people off the bench. So it's going to be quite an interesting one.
Yeah. I think Souths will win it. I think Souths will win it. I think if they want to prove that the grand final premiers, they're going to have to beat a team that's thereabouts every year, and I think they're going to have to beat they're going to have to beat teams like Storm.
Yeah.
When they can, you know, like when they play you. So, yeah, I'll go Souths on that one by 4.
Yeah, obviously, you know, I'm rocking Souths, my team.
Obviously. Just before we go on to Super League, I just want to get your opinion on this. There's talks of a new team coming into the New South Wales Cup.
Is this the Brisbane one?
No, Fiji team. They were meant to come into it last year, but obviously COVID happened, and they weren't able to because they would have to travel back and forth from Fiji. Fiji Silktails. But yeah, they're coming into that this year. And the interesting thing is, the coach is Wes Nguama, who played for Panthers and Dragons, brother to Kevin. And the chairman is Petro Civoniceva, ex-Broncos in Queensland. Personally, I like this. I think, you know, when you watch like Papua New Guinea's national team, Fiji, Samoa, Tonga, especially now, their fans love it. Their fans really love rugby.
Yeah.
And I think expanding the game to places like that, it kind of builds a case of spread. You don't want rugby just to be in certain areas. You want it spread and to be like become this world-renowned sport.
Yeah, that's it.
So for myself, I think it's a top move, and hopefully it sort of builds bridges for other teams. Maybe just not one team from a certain country. You know, you maybe have like a new a cup, like a Challenge Cup or something. You know, where you get like Fiji teams, Papua New Guinea teams, Samoan teams, Tongan teams playing each other in a league. You know, against maybe some of the New South Wales, Queensland Cup teams, you know, things like that. But yeah, I saw that and I thought that's quite. I just want to say that because I thought that just proves that you need branch the game out a bit more to other areas, you know.
Yeah, I think what would be a good, well, not necessarily a good idea because of travelling and stuff, but like our football has like the Champions League.
Yeah.
Something like that. But obviously the travel without it probably wouldn't work, but...
Yeah, because like Champions League is Europe, innit?
Yeah.
So it's like...
Yeah.
Practically same time zones, but yeah, I know what you mean though. I know what you mean. Even if you did some end of season.
Yeah.
You know, send like the 2 grand finalists from Super League to play the 2 grand finalists at NRL.
Yeah.
You know, and have like a national team playing in it, you know, things like that, you know, just to sort of. But do you remember when we did Touchline podcast, we mentioned that like Matty Johns was saying that he would love to see like a New Zealand and Tongan game, but played in Tonga.
Yeah.
You know, like get your national teams out playing it rather than bringing it to Australia. Have them playing in them. Again, PNG, Samoa, Fiji, things like that.
That's it, yeah. That's it. It just need branching out of Australia and New Zealand more. Well, New Zealand, it's only really one part in it as such. And Australia, to be honest, it's only on like the Queensland and New South Wales side, really. I mean, it could be still quite big in other parts, obviously, but that's what I mean.
What going on to Super League?
Yeah.
Obviously, big one for us over here. Aussies might not get it, but I think the biggest one to come out of it is Magic Weekend's been confirmed.
Yeah, you got the dates, yeah.
Hopefully fans will be back into the stadiums and that for it, and I think that'll be a top weekend. I think.
Yeah.
The thing with Magic Weekend is that it's just a lot of fans singing, chanting, drinking, having a laugh, and I think that's what Super League needed.
Typical British
I think
stuff.
that is what. Yeah, I think that's what the Super League needed. The Super League fans, needed was just something to look forward to this season. You know, because it's good having Super League back. You know, over the lockdowns and stuff, but it wasn't the same when fans can't go into the stadiums. You know, things like that. Obviously, I'll mention all of them. We won't get into it because it's too early to like predict anything. But obviously, your team, Cam, you've got Warrington at it on the Sunday. Sorry, you've got Giants and Wakefield before you, and then Lee and Rovers, Hull, and then we're on the Saturday. You've got Tigers and Red Devils, Saints against Catalan, and Rhinos v Hull FC. So a nice Yorkshire derby to finish it off.
Typical Saints getting an easy game.
Oh, yeah. Hey, we proved we could do it against you. But yeah, so, and then the next one is, talking of signings, this one got announced, I think, yesterday or the day before. Same Tellings, lad from Yorkshire. Kyle Eastman is back in the Super League for 2 years with Leeds Rhinos. He's been playing Union since 2011. Obviously, too early to tell whether it'll be a good signing or not. But
money grab horse.
See, I don't know, because obviously Leeds have brought in Tetevano. He won't be on a small pay packet. Luke Gale won't be on a small pay packet. Do you reckon he'll play? Do you reckon they think he's the solution to the halves problem, or?
I think
that's just going off where he played at Saints.
Yeah, I think you can't really say he'll have an impact as such as like Tetevano or anything like that. Obviously, he's been playing Union, like I said, for 10 years. I think you bring a player like that in, I don't know. It's one of those. It could work.
Big gamble.
Yeah, it is. It's massive.
That's another.
I don't think he'll be the player that he used to be.
I can't see him being on big money.
No, I don't.
No, definitely not.
I don't like his time at St Helens. There's no way he'll have the same impact that he had there. Obviously, I ended up on the cover of Rugby League Live, which we spoke. That's what was so funny about it. Like a couple of weeks ago, we was chatting about that. And I even mentioned him to you, and I said, "Remember when he used to play for Saints?"
See, the thing is, because he was at grand finals he took us grand finals. Not him on his own, you know, but he was at grand finals with us.
Yeah.
I think it all got to his head. That's why he went to Union. That's where the money is.
Well, what helped him the most was how explosive he was, how fast he was.
Yeah.
When he was at Saints. Yeah. But obviously, with age comes slowness.
No, yeah. But yeah, I can't see him being on a big pay packet because it's a big gamble. If they're putting all their hopes on him playing in the halves with Gale, you never know. The season could start. The season could come to an end and he's one at Man of Steel contenders. You know, he's absolutely ripped the league apart. But personally, I just can't see it.
Yeah, I can't see it. I don't know.
I can't see it. What have you got for Super League, pal?
So another one coming out of Super League, Warrington. Steve Price is leaving at the end of the year. He said he wants to go back to Australia, obviously with his family. So who do you reckon would take over the Warrington job? Bit of a tough question for you there. I've put you on the spot now.
Maybe Sean Long. Maybe he'll want to have a crack at. Maybe he'll want to have a crack at a head coaching job. The only problem is with that. It's not a problem whether Warrington will take him. I think Warrington, because they've been getting so close to the grand final, I think they'll want to go big with the coach. They'll want someone that they think can take them there to the grand final. And I know people say Longy will never go to Warrington, but people forget he was an ex-Wigan lad that signed with Saints. He left Saints for Hull FC.
Yeah. Then
when he retired, he went coaching at. He's gone coaching at Leeds now.
Yeah.
So he's not afraid to do what's best for his career at the end of the day. You know?
That's it. Like in terms of coaching job, it's not like really much you see players go into that side so soon.
That's it. Yeah.
So obviously, like you said, you got to take your opportunities and try it. So
that's it. Because at the minute, I think when you think about the coaches that are about, there's not many of them that are like not in a job, if that makes sense.
Yeah, there's not many that's young in a sense. Like Sean Long, he's not like an old manager like you'd normally see. So
yeah, I think it comes down to who gets sacked in the season.
Yeah,
I just hope Super League don't rig it so he wins it on his way out. To be honest, Warrington would probably still bottle it even if it was rigged for him.
That another point of Warrington. How do you reckon Greg Inglis is going to get on? We spoke about this in our NRL hype video. Not NRL, Super League, sorry.
I'll say this. If people are expecting a Greg Inglis impact that he had at Souths and Melbourne, you're fucking stupid. Because I don't think he's missed so much time. I think I want him to do well there because obviously he's a quality player.
Yeah.
But I think with the time he's had out, it's a completely different game over here.
Yeah.
I think players will want to get in his head a bit more,
That's it. When players come in with so much hype, you just like it puts like a target on your shoulders. Really.
I think it'll be like Sonny Bill at Toronto.
Yeah.
It's just lucky for Greg Inglis that he's going to have better players around him.
Yeah.
To help him, if that makes sense. But yeah, I can't see an impact straight away. I can't see it. It's just one of them things, isn't it?
Yeah.
It's just can't see it.
Looking at the starting fixtures, obviously you've got Salford. Wigan's got Leeds have got Wakefield, Catalan, Hull KR, Hull FC versus Huddersfield, Castleford versus Warrington, and then that pretty much it. What are you saying about St Helens against Salford? I mean, first game of the season, it kind of doesn't really matter. Obviously, teams are finding the form. So, what are you saying? Close game or?
It depends. With that one, it's like Salford, new coach. He's had like a full pre-season with him. I think we'll win it. I think it'll be one of them where we run it close and then like the last 20, 15 minutes, we score a couple of tries.
Yeah. And
then we win, let's say like a 32-20 scoreline.
Yeah.
Because it's like you said, first round isn't the best to watch really because you'll have had friendlies. I don't know if you'll have friendlies this year, but
yeah, they've got a few friendlies.
You've not really had that proper Super League contact, have you? No. If that makes sense. So it's a bit of a shit one, really. Round one, I think the team to look out for in round one though will be Huddersfield, obviously with the ex-Salford coach going there.
Yeah.
Obviously Aidan Caesar wanting to prove something, I think, this year. And I think Martin Lawrence has already come out and said that he wants to take Huddersfield to another level. I think they'll be the team to watch this year. because I think they'll push for it again this year, but with a bit more consistency, hopefully.
Yeah. I think the Warrington and Castleford game will be quite interesting to watch.
Yeah.
Obviously, Greg Inglis, his first game, if he starts. And I just think Castleford, they're at home as well. Wait. Yeah, they are. Oh, wait, no. Well, no. Let's have
Warrington at home.
Everyone's playing at the same venue, so it's all being played round one at Emerald Headingley Stadium. So that's Leeds. Is that Leeds?
Oh yeah, trust Leeds get the home advantage in round one.
Yeah, so everyone's playing there, and every single game is on Sky Sports. That's what you love to see.
Love to see that. Love to see it. No, I think you don't really take much into account in round one. Like, you know.
Oh, sorry. They're doing it so like round one's being played at Leeds, round two is all being played at Saints, and then so on. So I think they're just doing it so like every team's going to be around in that one area. Place. Yeah.
Makes sense with COVID and everything.
Especially in Britain.
I think obviously with Magic Weekend being announced and everything, I think the biggest thing to come out of the Super League at the minute, news-wise, just before we move on, I think the biggest thing is that fans are going to be able to come back into the season.
Yeah, because it was announced
into the ground,
June, sometime in June anyway.
Yeah. And I think obviously you're not going to get the classic. I think it would have been good if they could do it where if they could get it for Good Friday. Because I think the Saints and Wigan derby on Good Friday for me and you is just iconic, But Saints fan, Wigan fan, I think whenever anyone says Good Friday, it's the first thing that I think of personally, Saints and Wigan. But I'm just, to be honest, I can't watch it, obviously, because I'm down south, but I'd just love it if I think it's class now that we actually finally have a date for fans being able to go and watch the games again.
Yeah.
Because I think it'll have a massive impact on the rest of the season then as well.
100%.
Once you get fans back.
That's it. Like, you look at derby games like Saints and Wigan, when DW's packed out, totally Wicked Stadium's packed out, it changes the tide of the game. Obviously, when you get big hits, your home team putting shots on.
Yeah.
There's nothing like it. There's nothing like a derby game.
Farm was out with
fans. With fans, anyway.
That's it. Nice warm day, barbecue, beers, job done.
Ordered for you, not up here.
But moving on, Cam, we'll get into football because obviously this is only really the one that's happening at the minute, innit? We did a little, not so much a podcast, but we did a little review so far of the Premier League season. But a couple of things I want to talk about. One that I've picked for you, because it's about Liverpool. Jota is now back. Jota is back in full training.
Yeah.
For you guys, apparently. And Van Dijk has stepped up the rehab. So I'm not sure when they'll be back.
Yeah.
I don't think you'll have Van Dijk back till next season now.
Yeah, I don't want to. It's pointless rushing him and getting back injured.
No, yeah. Do you think though that the likes of Jota, when you think about the form that he was in before he got injured, can you see him starting more?
You probably see more changes in the squad. Obviously, you'll have different players that can play, but I don't know. With Liverpool at the minute, I don't really see much changing. Obviously, the team's in quite a bad spot at the minute. It doesn't seem like there's any confidence there as such. Obviously, they brought these two centre-backs in, and
yeah,
I don't know. It's a whole confidence thing. I've kind of lost hope.
Yeah. Do you think likes of do you reckon they'll just try and sort of bide the time and get to end of season and hope they can finish top 4 or at least win Champions League? Or
yeah, that's it. It's just gonna be one of those where they have to just play it out, see what happens. Obviously, they won on the weekend, so
yeah.
I don't know.
Tell you what's an interesting one. I don't know if I said it in. I think I have said it to you, but I don't know if I said it in one of our podcasts about that you are linked. Well, apparently you're interested in that Ivan Tony from Brentford, the striker.
Oh yeah.
Like I saw the other day that he's the quickest Brentford striker.
He's one of the top scorers in the Championship.
He scored like 25 goals in 32 games or something for them.
Yeah. Well, they were saying, weren't they, that Brentford's done well with the strikers because they had Ollie Watkins. He was top scorer, and then he got sold out. Yeah, so...
Yeah. Do you think, because obviously I think Brentford are second in league. Do you reckon he'd stay with them if he went to if they got promoted? Because isn't it like first and second get instantly promoted? Or is it just first that gets...
I think it's just first and then second goes in... Oh, no, it might be.
Oh, is it like... Because it's like a playoff?
It's first and second, then third, fourth, fifth and sixth going to a playoff, I think.
Playoff, right. But yeah, but he'd be a decent striker for you if he could keep his form, and perform in the Premier League. I don't think he'd do it straight away.
I think it'll be one of them where Klopp will just treat him like he did with Minamino. Like he'll just come off the bench, stuff like that. Because I don't see him taking Firmino off unless Firmino gets injured. And
the thing is, though, I know it's a different league, but at least you know that you've got a proper goal scorer.
Yeah, that's it. But it's just one of those, you can't take them big players out, and I don't think that Klopp would want to do that. But it's one of those, you kind of have to do something in situations that they are at the minute.
No, yeah. Yeah, I think, well, nothing can happen now till summer anyway, can it? So,
no.
It's one of them, it's a waiting game really for Liverpool now, isn't it?
Yeah, well, we see if they can use the momentum of winning the last game to go on and win some more now.
Yeah.
But sorry, go on.
Go on. No, I was just going to say, because when this goes out, obviously they were recording it, which is Thursday. You've got Chelsea tonight.
Yeah.
But if we talk about a game after we put this out, you've got Fulham on the Sunday. Now, if you can beat Chelsea, who are obviously unbeaten at the minute, and they've drawn a few games.
Yeah, be a massive momentum swing if you can win that.
That's it, and I think you're going to need... I think Fulham, for you guys, you should dispatch them. Obviously, I know it's not as easy as saying it, but... Yeah.
Well, when we played them first time this season...
Chelsea,
when we played them first time this season, Fulham, it was a hard game. It was like both fullbacks didn't play well. But it's one of those, like you said, if we can get some momentum off beating Chelsea, I think there's pretty much no chance that we could get beat at Fulham. Maybe a draw, but I don't see us losing.
I think the thing with teams now is the difference between you, Liverpool, like correct. Tell me if I'm wrong, obviously. But I think last year, every team was a bit worried about playing you.
Yeah.
And we're a bit scared. Where I think this year, I think every team in league will look at you and go, they're here for the taking, if that makes sense.
That's it. You've seen from Liverpool, past couple of seasons, you've not seen much points to exploit as such. Whereas this season, there's loads of points of attack where you can just aim at Trent or something like that, because Trent's confidence is not there. You can see that clear as days. And the defence. And obviously Alisson as well, because Alisson's not played well. But Alisson, obviously, I don't think he'll be playing this week because I think he's back home still.
Yeah.
But it's one of those. I think the midfield, because we tried to change it with Thiago, and I just don't think that's worked at all. He's a decent player, but he's just not worked. I don't think he suits Liverpool's style. But it doesn't help when we don't have Fabinho and Henderson in the midfield.
Yeah. I think if you're going to start playing with the two centre-backs, the new ones, and put your midfield back to normal, I think that'll help the defence, because it was probably one of the best midfields in the league. The likes of Henderson, even Curtis Jones, I think is a quality young lad. If he can keep his head.
Well,
the likes of Fabinho.
You take Henderson out of midfield and you lose that attacking focus, because he can bring the ball forward. He's not afraid to, make them long balls up or anything like that.
he's just a typical box-to-box midfielder, isn't he?
Yeah.
But I think if you do that, I think it helps your defence. But the only worry for like Liverpool is like them two centre-backs haven't really played with each other.
No.
You saw it in the Leicester game. The new centre-back from Schalke, was it?
Yeah.
He's
gone
football, and Alisson came out for the ball at the same time, and you kind of have that disconnect then, don't you, in the back line? But I can see you drawing with Chelsea tonight.
Yeah, I think the only thing with Liverpool now is there's no point in being conservative about it. You just got to risk it. Because at the end of the day, you've already lost. You've already conceded the title. So yeah, it's one of those.
Do you think? Because obviously you're going to have Adrian in net. Yeah. Do you think they'll throw the kitchen sink at it now and just get for top 4?
Well, that's it. That's all they can do, really. Obviously, looking at the table at the minute, West Ham's sitting in 4th, but they're only 2 points ahead of us. So yeah, that's how close it is for a Champions League spot. Obviously, you're on 51 points, Leicester's on 50 points, and I think City's just run away with it now. So it's just a case of, I think, highest 3rd, maybe. But that's just all depending on Leicester dropping off, but I don't think so.
I hope not, because I do like Brendan Rodgers, and I think if he misses out on top 4 again this year, I think he could go.
Yeah.
You know, because they were holding 3rd and 4th last year, and then they just dropped off all of a sudden, and they're out at Europa League now as well.
Yeah.
So,
well, that's it. And teams like West Ham, I hope West Ham at least get Europa, because it's one of them seasons where they actually deserve it. But then again, you can't count Chelsea out as well.
No, yeah, I think for you men tonight, I think you'll get a draw, because Tuchel, however you say it, I think he likes to play the possession game.
Yeah.
But I don't think they'll play into your hands of throwing men forward. I think they'll want to starve you with possession, like you did against United. You know, United are probably last night they put a stat up when United have had more than 70% possession.
Yeah,
we've won like 1 game, I think, drawn 2, and you know, I think Chelsea under Tuchel are very good at starving you of possession.
Yeah,
but they're not going to throw men forward. It's like a slow build up. It's boring to watch, but it works for them.
That's it. Yeah.
So, it'd be interesting to see what Liverpool do if they don't have as much of the possession as they want.
I think
speaking of United. Go on.
While talking about games, if we're talking about Thursday games, obviously this is when we're recording it. It might come out on Saturday, something like that as this. So, depending on what happens, we could be wrong. But I think Spurs, they've got momentum in the way, so they should beat Fulham.
Bale back to full fitness as well.
Yeah, and he looked really good, didn't he, last game?
Scored 2, didn't
he? Yeah, he did, yeah. And I think Everton probably win. They look good at the minute. Richarlison looks good at the minute.
It's funny, innit? Because obviously they've put Richarlison up top now. Because obviously Calvert-Lewin's injured. But he looks better.
He does.
When he's up front.
It looks like the player they wanted to sign when they first got him.
Definitely. It'd be interesting to see as well if Joshua King plays. Gets a bit of game time in that one as well. Because it'd be good to see him.
Yeah, that's what I mean. I'd like to see him. Maybe if they put them two up top together. But yeah, it'd be good to see him play.
Going on to like United, obviously disappointing result against Palace. Rashford, absolute shite last night. I mean, the only thing that bugs me is it's like for some reason because he's come through the ranks at United, it's as if he can't be held accountable.
Yeah.
Because like if Martial, right, and I'm not condoning like the racial abuse online and everything, you know, it's horrible. But if Martial had played the way that Rashford played, he would have been taken off. You know, he would have been scrutinised in all the papers, all of that.
Yeah.
And I feel sorry for Bruno Fernandes because everyone's saying like he's dropped form and stuff, and he probably has. You know, he's probably burnt out. He's played a lot of games, but I don't think he's got quality around him.
That's it
for the Prem.
I think
if he had an out striker or a midfielder behind him that could push forward like Pogba did before he got injured, I do feel sorry for him because he's trying to do it all, but no one's on the same wavelength as him. Yeah. And I do feel sorry for him in the games, like when you watch him.
Like, obviously, Lukaku didn't play his best football when he was at United, but I think if he came back off his form that he had at Inter, I think him in front of Bruno would be quite good. And I think then you get to put the likes of Rashford back out wide and stuff like that. But it's one of those, like you said, you need an out-and-out striker more than you need, like, Rashford and Martial. They are good at finishing, but they're not really strikers. They're more wingers than strikers, I'd say.
Yeah.
Could just do what you did in FIFA career and just sign Ronaldo. Just tell him get Ronaldo. If you were manager, you get it all sorted.
United emailed me about being coach, but I said no. Stick to Ole. He'll do you a good job. But it's like, we can't get results against Palace. I know Palace are a good team. Kale's in form at the minute. Kouyate's in form at back. But when you look at a Palace team and the possession that we have, and, it was evenly matched on possession, to be fair. But, that's the difference between a Premier League winning side. You beat teams like that 3-4-0, 3-4-1, but we just can't seem to do it. How we're second, I'll never know. And then it's worrying because we've got City this week, and City United derbies, they're important to United.
Yeah.
And I think if we want to be taken serious as a title contender, I know we're not contenders now, this season. But
sorry, but tell me you live down south without telling me you live down south.
Okay. But I think we'll get absolutely battered. What did I say?
No, it was seagulls going past you.
Oh, right. Yeah, they're up roof. No, but I think we'll get absolutely dismantled by City. I think City are just too good this year. I think it could be an easy 3-4-1, and Bruno Fernandes will get stick for not performing. But it's not. We've scored one goal against the Big Six this year. That one goal was Bruno Fernandes. But it's not as if you take Bruno out of that and it's still the same stat for United. Yeah. So it's not as if other players are stepping up and Bruno's not. It's. But yeah, I think we're still fighting here for fourth place. In all honesty, because I think we're dropping points.
It's also tight at the minute. You just don't know at the minute. Obviously, you've got a game in hand of pretty much everyone. Everton's got 2 games in hand, so.
See, because I'm using like the fantasy app here.
Yeah.
We've got one game this week, which is City, but City have us and Southampton this week, which is in like the same game week.
Yeah.
So,
do you think it's a bit ridiculous that what the turnaround is? Obviously, Liverpool are playing tonight on Thursday, but they're playing on Sunday. Sunday as well. I think that turnaround's a bit.
People say, well, they get paid loads of money. The footballers, they should do it. But you're putting players' careers at risk by playing so many games in a season. Yeah. Like I understand they get paid a lot to do it. They can't complain. But burnout is a factor.
Yeah.
You can't expect players to, like you said, have a 3-day turnaround.
That's it.
And recover in time for it. It's. I understand why people say it, but I also think it's a bit of a stupid comment to make because it's like anyone. It's like saying, so if you're on say, let's take McTominay who's on like 10k a week. Like, you're telling me that you can play 27 matches in a season, as well as Europe games, Carabao Cup games, FA Cup games. You're telling me that you could do that with 3-4-day turnaround and train 3-4-day turnarounds every week. You could do that without even thinking, Jesus Christ, I'm tired. I just don't get it. People will probably give me stick for that if they watch it, but I just don't understand it.
Well,
because Everton and Villa still have a game to play, and Southampton and Spurs still have a game to play as well. They're like the others that are finger.
Well, I think that pretty much wraps it up, unless you got any more points about football.
Sorry, I have just got 2 to make about the same team, but they're just quick points, and it's like just 2 questions I've got for you. Right, can you see? Because obviously there's talks about City at minute. Do you think City will win the Champions League?
City?
Yeah.
Win the Champions League?
Yeah.
1 second, let me just... No. As good as they are in the league, I don't see... No, I can't see that. Like I said to you in the last one, I think PSG, maybe.
Yeah. I'd fucking hate to see that. Hate Neymar.
Yeah, I hate Neymar, but I'd like to see Mbappe win it.
Prick.
Before he comes to Liverpool.
No, yeah, Mbappe, because Mbappe is a very good player. Like, you know, you'd love to see that. Yeah. But all right then. Then the last one I've got for you, because that was, like I said, it was dead quick. It's just a quick answer. Yeah. Do you think? Because obviously the big it's not big anymore, but it's still in the conversation. Do you think that Messi, if he did go to City, would be a right move for both parties? Do you think it would be a good move for Messi and a good move for City?
No, I think obviously it'd be all right at City, but I don't think it makes sense in terms of his legacy and stuff. I think it'll just completely tarnish it. In terms of you've been at Barca all your life, you're coming to the end, and you're just going to leave based on just because you've got Coleman as your manager and you don't like it.
Yeah.
It doesn't make sense. It's one of those, and you'd like to see him finish it at Barca.
In terms of results, I think it's a bad move for both. I think, you know, he's getting on a bit now. I think if he'd have come a bit younger, maybe, you know, he's still got that bit of pace about him.
Well, that's it. He's still got the price tag that he had 10 years ago.
Yeah. I think it's like we said about GI at Super League, you know, players will want getting his head a bit, you know, kick him, you know, sort of play a bit rough with him sort of thing in the league. But I think in terms of City, the amount of money they're going to make it'd be ridiculous.
If they signed Messi, they'd get loads of money from shirt sales or like brand deals and stuff like that.
I just want to apologise. Fucking seagulls outside. Christ. Jesus.
Right.
Do we talk about it, Cam?
We talk about it.
Do we talk about it? Right. We didn't mention it at first because I'm not going to lie, completely forgot about it. We're going to talk about one more sport because we want reviews.
Yeah, we're gonna put this in the title.
Yeah, it's in the title, but we're only going to talk about it for about 2 minutes. Put them away. Right. I think people know what we're going to talk about if they've got this far. Jake Paul has come out and called Tyson Fury's brother, Tommy, who, I don't know if you've seen it, he's replied to him, hasn't he, Fury?
Yeah, I've seen it.
He said, anytime, any place.
Yeah, he said, well, if you want me to call you out, here it is. I want to fight.
Before we mention the other one, because I think the other one is a bigger fighter than Tommy Fury.
Yeah.
In terms of a fight for Jake, well, never mind. The other one he called out was Canelo Alvarez, which I don't get at all.
Oh, that's what I wanted to talk about, actually. Did you see Canelo, after he won, there was, I think, 2 or 3 people with Jake Paul shirts on in the ring, and he went and said to him...
They were stood behind him, weren't they?
Yeah, and he went and said to him, get out ring, get gone.
Yeah. But it's like, in terms of clout, if that's what Jake's after, he's done it. You know, in terms of the money fight, he's got it already.
I think...
You know, so for him, it appears to say, but he's a genius. He is a genius, really. Yeah. People are going to pay him attention now.
In terms of the Tommy fight, if he fights him, I think it's good for Tommy more than anything. Because not many people know him as such. Obviously, he's still under the name of, you're Tyson Fury's brother. Dude, Tommy, who's that? But I think if he fights him, the clout that's going to come with it, because all the people that know of Jake in America, all the stuff like that, if he fights him, everyone's going to be like, oh my God, he's actually decent, Tommy. Like, he's a good fighter. Because he's class. I think he's unbeaten, isn't he, still?
Yeah, and the fight will happen in America, which for a boxer is a big thing. Because he'll be known over here, but over there, maybe not so much. Like you said, basically. But not being funny, right? Have you seen the size of him, Tommy?
Yeah, he's massive. I think in a Fury, like any of the Furies,
he's a fucking unit.
You can't go wrong. The Furies are just built different.
And I can't. No, if he fights Tommy knocks him out.
Yeah, Tommy simple as that. Simple as that.
You know, I don't think Jake gets that. He's come from a gypsy family, and gypsies have jaws of steel. It's very hard to put a gypsy down, you know. But going on to
you're calling someone out who's brother of Tyson Fury, and if you look at Tommy's highlights, you see that he's knocked people out in first round, if not first round, second round. So
he's got a punch on him, you know. Yeah. Jake's probably not faced a harder hitter.
The thing that Jake will be thinking about is he's going to get in his head that Tommy's an influencer just because he was on Love Island or something like that, and he's going to think that he's not the real deal, which he is.
He doesn't take it serious sort of thing. But the big one, no offense to Tommy, but the bigger one is why would you call Canelo Alvarez out again? It's a genius move, gets clout from it. You know, people are going to start paying him attention. But this man has gone toe-to-toe with Floyd Mayweather. He should have beat Floyd Mayweather, in my opinion, when I watched the fight.
Yeah.
Should have beat Floyd Mayweather on decision. He drew with Golovkin. That's no small feat, that. To draw with Golovkin, that takes some fighter.
Yeah.
He's knocked out... we all saw the knockout on Amir Khan when Amir Khan tried to sort of step up a weight.
Jesus Christ, that was brutal.
You know, Amir Khan put on his big boy pants and thought, I'll take him on. And got
if you want to watch a boxing knockout, that's one of those.
Do you remember? It's harsh, but do you remember when that happened and it was like that Canelo Alvarez out here turning Amir Khan into Diego Costa? Because his face had shifted. But Canelo Alvarez isn't a boxer. He's a full-out brawler. Yeah. He will brawl with Jake. And Jake can't... You won't be able to... Oh, I'd love it. Don't get me wrong. He's a genius, like I said, Jake Paul. But Canelo Alvarez will end it early.
I wouldn't want to see that, though, just because it just ruins the name of big fighters. It makes it a joke. That's what Canelo's trying to say in it. It just makes it a joke. So I want to see Ben Askren. When he fights him, I just hope Ben Askren just destroys him.
Two things on this though, right? It's with the Ben Askren thing, I don't see how Jake can demand a boxing match because Ben Askren should be the A side. Because isn't he an ex-world champ?
He's
or something.
He was in a different promotion, but he's a wrestling. I think he did the Olympics.
Sorry. Right, okay.
He's a wrestler more than fighter. Right, but then again, you're fighting the UFC, you're fighting the top fighters. Yeah, maybe lost, didn't do the best in UFC, but end of the day, you've got that experience of fighting real fighters, not fighting Deji,
and you
fighting Anderson Gibb. You know.
Yeah. And the other one is, it's I don't... See, because, obviously, the last thing I'm going to say on it is obviously, this all came about by KSI calling Logan and Jake out. Jake pussied out of the fight and chose Deji. Yeah. Logan got beat. Obviously, I know they drew, but Logan ended up getting beat in the end.
Yeah.
Jake Paul fought Gibb. Gibb got beat. But I just don't see how, if Jake ends up getting all of these fights now, how can he justify coming back and fighting JJ KSI? Because I know JJ's won a professional fight, but he's still a YouTuber. like, I don't mean like to disrespect JJ, you know, I don't mean to disrespect KSI, but he's still a YouTuber. He's not a professional out-and-out boxer or UFC fighter. So how does Jake come back from that to fight a YouTuber?
I think what'll make it worse is if he beats Ben Askren, which I hope he won't, and he fights JJ and gets beat, it just makes fighters look worse.
Yeah.
Which is why I think Ben Askren has to win. He can't really come short.
Because the thing is that JJ's not got the gyms at the minute, which JJ doesn't need to make up excuses. You know, he'll train for the fight because he'll want to win. But it's like Jake, you see videos of Jake, he's still training and, you know, he's still sparring and stuff.
Yeah.
And JJ's lost like a year of it, sort of thing. I just don't think that the JJ and Jake thing will happen.
No, the difference is JJ doesn't need it. His admin are well big enough. They're coping.
Yeah.
They got 3-4 channels that are bringing in high figures.
That's it.
And he's doing his music, which he's doing well. Obviously, he got I think he got number 1 or top 2 in charts.
Yeah, he did. Yeah.
So
I think one of his songs went gold as well.
That's it.
You know.
And you look at Jake, and all he's got is this boxing thing. His YouTube's not doing what he used to be doing.
And the thing is with JJ at the minute, he's just created his own record label. So it's like JJ's making these moves away from boxing.
That's it. He don't need.
I think JJ will still want to fight Jake.
Yeah, that's the thing. The good thing about JJ is he's got multiple things that he can be doing. He can do music, boxing, I said, record label, YouTube, all this other stuff. Where Jake has just got boxing at the minute.
In conclusion, I just don't see it happening. Personally.
In conclusion, Britain's better than America.
Because he's calling out. I was going to say so. This is where we blow up now for all the wrong reasons.
We start World War.
Anyway, guys, we hope you enjoyed. Podcasts will be going out every Friday evening. Obviously, we'll update you on socials if anything changes, but hope you enjoyed.
Yep.
From me, all the best.
Peace.